Hi, it's Cara and today is Top 5 Wednesday. Today we're talking about forgettable books. So these, for me, are books that I either enjoyed while I was reading or didn't really care that much for, that ended up just kind of slipping out of my memory. Looking back on them now, I can kind of remember some of the features of these stories, but overall the details are quite murky. And I'll talk about each of them more in detail now. Actually, let's preface this by saying, for me, I don't remember much of a book quite soon after reading it. My book memory is pretty short, except for like solid 5-star reads, and they have to be really solid. Even a good 5-star read, for me, I still lose the details quite quickly. Very few books stick in my mind so poignantly that I remember all the details, unless I've read them 3 or 4 times. Harry Potter. So these are instead like the cream of the crop. The ones that I probably should still remember details of, but they're starting to leach out. So first off, number 1 is Ghost Talkers by Mary Robinette Kowal. I really enjoyed reading this book. Pretty sure I gave it a 4.5 stars, but actually, now that I'm talking about it, I'm remembering more details. But when I look at it on my shelf, it's really just a pretty cover. This is a paranormal World War II story, and it's got a lot to do with ghosts and defeating the Nazis with ghosts and utilizing that kind of weapon, I guess. I can remember the love story and the plot points of the love story vaguely, and I remember a few scenes quite vividly, but overall, like, the big twists and turns, nada. Gone. But I did really love this book, and I would probably potentially recommend it to people. I probably wouldn't reread it though. Then we have The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. This, for me, was like a 3.5-4-star read. I just found the writing to be a little bit flat. I have talked about it in a previous wrap-up, but I can't remember which one it is, so I probably won't link it. I did read both books in this duology, but I kind of really pushed myself to read the second one just so it was done. Overall, just meh. And I can't really remember plot details, except for the fact that this is obviously a 1001 Arabian Nights retelling, and I know some of the stories in Arabian Nights, so that helps. Next is The Book of Ivy by Amy Engel. I read this a couple of years ago. This is a dystopian nuclear war, 2 warring families, kind of a Romeo and Juliet story. You can tell I can't remember much, guy. This was like a 4-star. I say 4-star, but I'm rather generous, especially when I've just read a book, because my enjoyment's normally quite high at the end. So it's a generous 4-star, probably closer to a 3.5. I didn't hate it. It's just a standard dystopian. Yes, I can't really remember any of the details now. Next up are going to be 2 kind of controversial ones, because they both get a lot of love on BookTube. And that's not to say I hated them, but to me the plot points didn't stick in my head very well, and I didn't enjoy them that much. This may have been more about my mood when I read them than about the quality of the books themselves. So I definitely am planning to pick up sequels to at least one of them, maybe to both, but I'm a bit torn. Tell me what you think. So first off, we have An Ember in the Ashes. I don't have a physical copy for this because it's at my mum's house. She was interested in the plot. This is, from my memory, a fantasy, but set in like a Middle Eastern style environment, though I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I remember vague snippets. There was people with different masks and magic, and apparently it's amazing. I remember enjoying it when I read it. I gave it a 4.5 kind of rating, but I didn't feel compelled to pick up the second one. I do have it on my shelf. I do want to eventually read it, and hopefully this year, and the third one does come out this year, but I just didn't feel the urge to keep going. And honestly now I can't remember much at all. I will definitely have to do a catch-up online to remember what happened in order to read the second one. And then number 5 for this video is This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. I love V.E. Schwab's other books. I'm currently reading one of hers, which is The Dusk Jacket is up here, and loving it, but I just really didn't feel this one. For some reason it didn't connect well with me. Some people love it. Please tell me if I didn't enjoy this one very much, whether I should still give the second one a go, because I haven't bought it, but I have that like urge to finish it for a completionist sake, not for a I enjoyed this story sake. Though again, that could have a lot to do with my mood while reading it rather than the book itself, because I did want to enjoy this. This is a kind of a paranormal in which acts of violence create monsters, and it follows a girl who's a monster hunter and a boy who is a monster, and there's no love story, even though you think there probably should be. And I thought that was going to be really interesting, having a very distinctive, not a love story, but really I just found the plot of this fell a little flat for me, and now I can't remember any of the details. I remember drives into the desert, and I remember kind of the themes, and obviously like how the monsters are created, but nothing really detailed of the plot. But it also makes me feel like not much even happened in this book. So please let me know if the second one picks up and if I should go get it, please. So those are the 5 forgettable books that I wanted to talk about today. Obviously I still enjoyed most of these, or at least enough. They were never things that I hated, but I just, I can't remember enough about them anymore. And yeah, there's really not that much else to say. Thank you for watching this video. Please let me know, again, especially about This Savage Song and Ember in the Ashes, if I should pick up the sequel. I obviously have read the sequel to both Wrath in the Dawn and the Book of Ivy. Again, they were also kind of forgettable, but obviously we're only talking about single books in this video. So yes, please let me know down below what you thought of the sequels to Ember in the Ashes and This Savage Song, and I will see you soon with another Top 5 Wednesday video and other videos in general. Thanks, bye!